It's Tuesday, September 2nd. In the headlines, 57% voter turnout among special services workers on Friday. In business news, SBAJ urges consultation on minimum wage adjustment. Regionally, major announcements coming out of Carifesta 15. And in sports, Jamaica Olympics Association president calls for a formation of a Caribbean Athletes Union. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. There was a 57% voter turnout among special services personnel on Friday for the general election. That's the word from the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ. Special services include police officers, military personnel, and election day workers. According to the EOJ, 25,938 special services electors voted on Friday, of a total of 45,455 who were eligible to vote. The EOJ is also reporting a 50% voter turnout for the by-elections in the electoral divisions of Chancery Hall, Olympic Gardens, and Denham Town. The Ministry of Education is permanently integrating educational specialists and instructional coaches into its staffing structure to improve teaching and learning, moving away from temporary contracts. This shift aims to provide consistent long-term support, particularly in core subjects. The move was announced by Permanent Secretary Dr. Kassan Troop during a recent press conference.
A new approach that we are taking as we go forward, we are treating with that with the Ministry of Finance, is to embed the coaches. So no longer will we have a few coaches and specialists being on contract. What Minister has instructed is that we must look to see how that can become a natural part of the architecture of supporting the ministry. So removing our specialists from this, uncertainty in how they are employed, into embedding this into our structure in ministry. We are building out the foundational unit in math and English, so we can have stronger representatives in the ministry who will develop the curriculum, who will review, who will monitor, and who will support the teachers.
As the upcoming election season heats up, all eyes are turning not just to the familiar faces, but also to the new voices hoping to make their mark on the political landscape. From grassroots organizers to first-time contenders stepping out of the private sector, these individuals are challenging the status quo and bringing new ideas and new energy to the ballot. Let's take a look at two of these candidates.
Hi, I'm Danishka Williams, the People's National Party's MP candidate for Southwest St. Ann. I am a marketer by profession, and politics has chosen me. I'm here to represent the people of Southwest St. Ann because I believe they deserve better. They deserve real representation, and that's why I'm here to deliver that for them. I am their change agent. Southwest St. Ann is rich in love. The people have big hearts here. They're very hardworking, and what they need is more access to opportunities that will help them to live better quality lives. First, I want to talk about my farmers. I have some of the best farmers across the island, and I said that come about broad. So I know my colleagues in St. Elizabeth will debate me, but Southwest St. Ann, we have some of the best farmers. I've attended AgriFest, and I've seen my farmers win. For the second year, Cascade Farmers won. We have some amazing farmers in Grants Mountain and right across the constituency. No, for them, all they need is some greater access to opportunities. They want a better relationship with RADA. I have so many farmers who are struggling to get their ID cards. Some very basic things, at least I believe they're basic. but for how long they've been struggling with it, I know it's not actually basic in their mind. Now, for me, a couple of the things I want to do here are big. Some of them are small, low-hanging fruits, as I'd call them. For Southwest St. Ann, I genuinely believe that we need a cold storage facility or two. One in the Burbridge division and one in the Calderwood division. And they can serve the constituency so my farmers can have a place to store their produce before they take them to market. I also believe that Southwest St. Ann needs an agro-processing plant. So those are two of the ways that I'll be helping my farmers in Southwest St. Ann. Another big way is the roads. My farmers need better roads so they can get to their markets easier, faster. It can cut the time that it takes them to travel. So those are three of the many things that I plan to do to make lives easier for my farmers in Southwest St. Ann, within the educational sector as well as in unemployment. Now, what's important to me as one of the youngest candidates across both the political divides is to ensure that we're able to fix the issues that my people are facing. I understand them most because me and them are in the same age group. So I'm able to speak on their behalf and speak from the heart too. I don't have to make it up. Now, with the educational sector, there are several things, and I think the People's National Party has laid out some policies that are perfect to fix it right across the island, and it includes Southwest St. Ann. Right? The stipend that they'll be giving for persons to travel to school, that's important for my citizens. I'm not going to cost the bus system, but I don't believe it's going to work in this constituency because of the roads here. Right? So that's one. Another one, we have several persons with disabilities in the constituency, and we want to create an inclusive educational system for them so that no one feels left out or no one goes to school, is upgraded to the next grade, but aren't able to learn. Right? So we're fixing those issues. We want everyone to be literate by grade 3. Southwest St. Ann has indicated that they are ready for real change, and I am their change agent. This constituency deserves better, and my people are ready. They're ready for the change. In rural development, they're ready for educational and economic opportunities, agriculture, which is the engine for growth in this constituency, and leadership that really listens with love and shows up for them. Southwest St. Ann, I am your change agent. I am here to lead and do things better. I am here to take up meaningful space, not just in Parliament, but in your communities, to ensure that the development that you need is what you get. Southwest St. Ann, time come. I am Danishka Williams, your change agent.
I'm Damian Young, and I'm the Jamaica Labour Party candidate for this wonderful constituency of Northwest Manchester. I'm a businessman by profession, a teacher by training, and also a social entrepreneur. I've been doing a lot of social development work over the years. In fact, I started my non-government organization, Central Jamaica Social Development Initiative, with the express intention to impact young people and other vulnerable groups in the central parts of my country, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, and so forth. And so I have been doing a series of interventions through this non-government organization. In fact, we have trained young people in various areas of agriculture. We have trained farmers, retooled farmers. We have looked at rehabilitating water catchment tanks, concrete water tanks, in several agriculture zones in the parishes of Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. And so it was a natural transition for me to throw my hat in the ring to represent Northwest Manchester in particular. I want to construct a food processing plant in Mile Gully. Well, it's really adjacent to Mile Gully. That's out at Grove Place. It's a massive piece of land, practically unused. Years ago, they used to have cattle breeding going on that land, but for the large part, it is not being utilized. We want to construct a food processing plant where we can process sweet potato and Irish into potato chips, wedges and flour for local consumption and also for the export market. Another thing that we must do, we must harvest water and have that water piped to the town of Mile Gully and surrounding communities. A third thing that we will do, we will open the Huntley Juice Factory. This is a factory that was built by the PNP in some years gone by, a little over 20 years ago. This factory was never opened, and yet still it is chock full of various kinds of tools, juicers, osmosis machine, tanks, and a variety of other processing equipment. We also have a plan to expand the health center into a Type C hospital, so even that will benefit from more reliable water flowing through the constituency.
It's back to school season, and food for students is a trending topic. Good nutrition is vital for healthy, active lives and directly influences intellectual ability, which in turn contributes to national, social, and economic development. Achieving this requires more than individual choices. It depends on stable food security, proper nutrition education, and healthy lifestyle. Founder of Food Safety Girl, Alison Richards, tells us how parents can help their children develop good eating habits and a healthy lifestyle.
So I think it would be remiss of me not to mention, the fact that it's Children's Month. And I think a big part of developing a good food safety culture, or a positive food safety culture in our country, is really just to start from the kids. They always think about, adults must start their farm, but persons have to have that, is how you're grown up, that introducing you to that food safety culture. And a simple tip starting from home is the hygiene, personal hygiene, washing your hands carefully before touching food. And when I say wash your hands, I mean you're using soap and water. And a guide I usually share with persons for washing your hand is to sing the happy birthday song once, 20 seconds, and that is kind of an indicator that you've washed your hand for as long as you really should. Another tip is introducing your kids to labels. Allow them to read labels, expiration dates, practicing first in, first out. So when you come from the grocery store, you're loading your food up into your pantry, you want to make sure that the ones that went in first or before you went to the pantry are now at the front and the newer ones are towards the back. You want to also practice washing your vegetables, your fresh produce, washing them, ensuring that they're washed properly. And the last step is cooking. You want to make sure that you're cooking your meat, your food to the correct temperature and for the length of time. I do know, however, culturally, overcooking is a main staple. We tend to overcook food.
We like to fry.
We stew our stews.
Yes,
so that generally is not such a food safety issue. But those are generally the tips I would encourage for at home for our children.
All right, I heard some persons use, say, like vinegar when they're washing their fruits and vegetables. Is that a yes or no? Or can we just use straight water?
So vinegar is somewhat of a caustic chemical because it has that acetic acid. So the use of vinegar is recommended. It's a natural existing acid, and it will help to eliminate some of the bacteria or any contaminants that are on your fresh produce and your vegetable. I must mention though that the concentration that you're using, because you want to make sure that it's powerful enough to get rid of whatever bacteria you're trying to rinse. So I would vinegar use in rinsing fruits and vegetables is a good recommendation.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Senator Dr. Norman Grant, first Vice President of the Small Business Association of Jamaica says that consultations with stakeholders is critical to any adjustments of the minimum wage. He states, from where the small business sector is concerned, I think the process is what concerns me. If there's a massive increase without consultation, this will cause problems for employers. The process we recommend is that we have to consider the legal framework and the minimum wage commission. This is the process we strongly recommend. An increase could impact the sector negatively and create job loss if not combined with an increase in productivity. Our main concern is the process of consultation. The SBAJ is the oldest small business advocacy group and currently has 700 members. For the trading period ending September 2, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 4,383,279 units traded, representing 39.73% of market sales volume. International hardware distributor Fosrich Company Limited with 970,614 units traded, representing 8.8% of market sales volume. Media conglomerate Radio Jamaica Limited with 460,760 units traded, representing 4.18% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On September 2, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $39.39 million purchased and $44.68 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.16 per dollar, selling the US at $160.88 and buying the US at $158.72. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $4.16 per transaction, with selling at $117.31 and buying at $113.15. The British pound yielded Forex traders $2.61 in profit, with selling at $217.30 and buying at $214.69. For our credit report tip of the day, too many hardworking people still believe two myths about debt and credit. One, that debt will eventually disappear if you ignore it, and that banks are responsible for updating your credit report. Both ideas are false and costly. Ignoring debt doesn't erase it. It grows with interest, late fees, and penalties. And then trusting banks to correct your credit report leaves errors untouched, keeping your score lower than it should be. These misconceptions don't just hurt your credit, they block access to the very tools that working people need to achieve life goals like home ownership, education, business financing, and long-term wealth. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Carifesta 15 ended on a high note, with Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, making several major announcements. She addressed a massive crowd at the closing ceremony at the National Botanical Gardens. CBC News' Nesta Henry has that story.
The impressive crowd at the Richard Stout Amphitheatre erupted in a rousing round of applause and cheered loudly as Prime Minister Mia Mottley made a number of announcements. The first, the location of the Carifesta 15 Grand Market at Waterford will now be known as Carifesta House. She also has something in store for all those who participated and brought great joy to Barbadians at the Grand Market.
We are going to ensure that you are onboarded on Caribbean Marketplace so that there will be an electronic marketplace. For 1 year, the government of Barbados will sponsor every vendor who was registered at the Grand Market to sell their products on the Caribbean Marketplace electronically, so that our work and our products go not just to the rest of the region who did not come to Carifesta, but to the rest of the world.
Those 300 plus students who came to the island for Carifesta 15 will be able to record their experience through a competition.
That by the end of December this year, those who give us the best literary exposition on Carifesta 15 from those 300 students will be awarded $5,000. Those who give us the best song from those 300 students will equally be awarded $5,000 and the recording of that song. And those who give us from any territory the best multimedia exposition of Carifesta 15 will be awarded $25,000 because the memory of Carifesta 15 must not just live, but it must live in the hearts and in the will of our young people.
PM Morty says that this has been an emotional Carifesta, admitting that the execution was not perfect, with organizers having to rectify several teething problems. She says that the emotions also came from the understanding that some of the African contingent who came for Carifesta participated in the fashion show on Broad Street, a site where the ancestors were separated.
And that we, 400 years after the British first settled this island, in 2025, could rise to host this event shows me that the confidence in Barbados and Bajans, and by extension, the confidence in Caribbean civilization is well justified.
On the verge of tears, Festival Director Cara Roberts says hosting 300 events in 10 days was a testament to faith, fortitude, and stellarship.
There were moments when we stumbled, and on those moments, we steadied ourselves, found our footing, and we moved forward. The region put on its good clothes, and we welcomed and hosted the world. Carifesta 15 gave us a most precious moment to breathe deep.
PM Morty and the festival director thanked all stakeholders for their contributions to Carifesta 15. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
Further afield, China's 14-year struggle against Japanese invasion shaped its future and the course of history worldwide. Our reporter Marlon Samuels examines how this resistance still resonates today as the 80th anniversary approaches on September 3rd.
In 1937, Japan launched a fierce invasion of China, starting the Second Sino-Japanese War. The conflict was devastating. Cities like Nanjing, Shanghai, and Wuhan suffered destruction. An estimated 300,000 civilians and prisoners were killed in the Nanjing massacre. Despite these horrors, the Chinese people refused to give up. The nationalist government set up a wartime capital. Communist forces, led by Mao Zedong, waged guerrilla warfare in rural areas, disrupting Japanese supply lines. Civilians mobilized. Women played key roles as nurses, spies, and fighters.
Yeah, because I'm an age of 35, not that old enough to have the personal experience back in the war, but my grandfather actually took part in that war against the aggression as a soldier, as a pilot actually, and he would tell me a lot of the stories back then when he was in the troop and how they took the battle and fought back. And he always told me that all the good life that I have today based on the sacrifice of the previous pioneers. And I also believe so because even my age of over 30 years, I experienced this country from growing really took off really fast. Rapid. When I was little, when I go from my home to my grandfather's home, I was on the back of my father's bike. But now I can just drive a car. That now I believe almost a lot of households in China that we own a car. I believe that showcases how we, based on that foundation of safe and secured life being devoted by the previous pioneers, and now that we can thrive on that.
Even with internal differences, China's united front became a symbol of resilience. International aid, including the famous Flying Tigers, American volunteer pilots, offered vital support. As one of the Big Four allies, China kept hundreds of thousands of Japanese troops engaged, preventing their spread across Asia. Today, the Chinese People's War of Resistance stands as a powerful symbol of unity and resilience, shaping modern China's identity and emphasizing the vital role of international solidarity in resisting aggression. On September 3, 2025, China will commemorate the 80th anniversary of its resistance to Japanese invasion, an enduring testament to its resilience and the ongoing pursuit of global peace. China marks 80 years since its resistance. The legacy of resilience and unity still inspires today. I am Marlon Samuels, reporting from Beijing, China for PBCJ News.
In sports, President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Christopher Samuda, is urging the establishment of a Caribbean Athletes Union to strengthen advocacy and representation for the region's sportsmen and women. Samuda made the call while speaking at a recent conference in Rodney Bay, hosted by the International Olympic Committee, the World Intellectual Property Organization, and the Government of St. Lucia, highlighting the need for structural support beyond current frameworks. Samuda says the development of a sustainable Caribbean sports ecosystem must include a more formal mechanism for athlete representation. In cricketing news, Trinbago Knight Riders edged St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots by 12 runs in Tarouba, a result that lifts TKR into first place on 12 points. The win also ensured TKR is the first team to qualify for the playoff round of the 2025 Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League. Nasira Mohammed reports.
Kyron Pollard detonated at the death of the TKR innings, clearing the ropes 7 times in an 8-ball burst that featured 4 consecutive sixes of Waqar Salam Kale. That late surge proved vital after both TKR openers departed inside the power play. Nicholas Puran steadied the innings with a measured 52 of 38 deliveries, sharing a 90-run partnership with Pollard. Pollard's 65-run blitz powered the hosts to 179 for 6. The Patriots' chase began brightly. Evan Lewis and Andre Fletcher added 96 for the first wicket, when Lewis departed for 42. Overs 14 and 15 swung the momentum. Alec Athanasia's attempted reverse ramp of Mohammed Amir only found Sunil Narain at short third, leaving the equation at 54 required from 30 deliveries, with Fletcher still set. That hope vanished when Usman Tariq skittled Fletcher for 67. Nathan Edward returned in the 17th to strike twice in 2 balls, dismissing Kyle Mayers and Jed Gooley, leaving the Patriots to get 42 runs from the last 3 overs. Holder then holed out in the deep, and although Amir hobbled off in the penultimate over, TKR closed it out to remain unbeaten in their home leg of the tournament. Nasira Mohammed, TTT Sport.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.